end the video. Probably shouldn't waste time with this. It's yes, that. Anyway, I played 2 minutes of it and I said, oh fuck. Yeah, of course I did. But frankly, this should be about as easy as pissing in a barrel or something. Pissing on barrel-brained jarhead. Yeah, that's pretty much sums it up. Anyway, let's go to the videotape. Yeah, whatever. Retards.
Just a video response to Logic Rolls the Dice's latest video. Actually quite a good video. Dealing with something that fascinates me a great deal. The Benatarian asymmetry argument.
Yeah, which you don't even understand. Frankly, you can't even articulate a recognition of the basic premises of the argument, which is the existence of some factual, sentient experience that isn't your own. Because, as I can quote you, what's in it for me, right? You're one of those kind of people.
Which I believe has been more or less conclusively refuted.
Right. I love when people do that. We declare victory, and it's somewhere out there. There's some evidence of our victory somewhere, but I don't have it. I don't have it here in my pocket, so I can't show it to you. But yeah, where's your victory? Where? Show me the link. Yeah, show me. Liar. You haven't won anything, you haven't shown anything, you haven't proven anything, you haven't logically demonstrated anything. You haven't done anything. But say, what's in it for me?
One of the things that I'd like to sort of bring into this discussion is this...
You bring into the discussion. You haven't brought anything yet to the discussion except ad hominem nonsense and dopey cliches.
Idea of preconception.
Preconception. There you go. What the fuck is that? Preconception versus conception versus what? Pre-ideas. Yeah, let's let's talk about pre-ideas. Okay. Yeah, the thing you have before you have an idea. No.
The idea of what you expect to see when you look out into the world.
Well, again, okay, the prejudgments that we show up and we say, I have a whole list when I got here on Earth of preconceptions about what my experience would be. You know, beyond the fact that I thought there'd be a rational story. You know, I thought the story wouldn't be, okay, I'm here on Earth, and why am I here? Oh, okay, it's because you had some silly notion. Felt good and you couldn't figure out how to wear a condom or something like that. Some dopey reason I'm here. Some ego reason. Oh, I want to put on, I've got a family name and I want to send it into the future. I want to prove to my friends that I have a penis. Or some whatever the dopey reason is. And then you get here and you ask a few questions. Hey, this doesn't look like a very good deal. Any minute I can have my arms or legs ripped off. Any second now, anything horrible can happen to me. I get a brain tumor, a fucking artery can explode in my neck. You set me up for this. Why exactly again? What was the plan? Get attached to things, watch them die and suffer, and eat cupcakes. Chase pussy. That's it, fella. You'll spend your whole life wanty. Me needy something to rub my penis on. It's all worth it. Right. And this is the intelligence, right? This is what intelligence is supposed to do, is just not pay any attention to the game. Pay any attention to the fact this all seems rather stupid. Rube Goldberg back-ass word. But no, do it anyway, because that's what your feet are for. They're for walking. Yeah, it doesn't matter if we have nowhere to walk to. Just walk. Your feet say so. Screw what your brain says. Like, again, just don't apply any kind of... We understand what this is. We understand how we got here, okay? Green slime, evolution, toolkits, slaughter, kill. That's why we're here, shithead. This isn't some magical, charmed ride you are goddamn on. I know that's what you're on, but that's like being on a drug, okay? It's a delusion in your fucking cunt head. It has nothing to do with a logical examination of what these little biological organisms are about. And fucking intelligent people shouldn't be indulging in this retarded conversation as if life is some sort of, yeah, I'm having an anal experience. No, fuck you.
And how you almost cannot help but do this.
Do what? You can't help but do this prejudging thing. Okay.
Something of, I guess, a point of departure is Nietzsche's possibly apocryphal statement.
Apocryphal. So here we come. Here we're going to have some apocryphal statements. This is supposed to scare you.
Those who were seen dancing were thought insane by those who could not hear the music.
Gee, that's so fucking profound. I'm just stunned by the profundity. Those who were seen eating their shit were perceived to be really stupid, because they didn't understand how it's really cool to eat your own waste products. Yeah, whatever.
Now, it's a very Nietzschean thing to say, but it's not entirely...
Yeah, yes, it is. It's entirely useless. All right? I mean, it just is. I mean, it just, you know, there's an economy to your existence, okay? And everything you do can be analyzed, and you can say, gee, are you getting any value out of that? I can have two scenarios. There's man and woman and their lovemaking in some wonderfully passionate and friendly way to wonderfully romantic music with little candlelights. And then I have the man and woman over here, and they're in gladiator suits, and they have swords, and they're jabbing holes in each other. And I can say, gee, what's the more efficient arrangement between these two things? Should we have more of those stabby with sword thing, or more of this lovey love thing? And I can make a rational determination. And we can do the same thing about how productive we are and what our consequences of our behavior are. And it's just really quite easy to evaluate and say, this is probably better than that. Yeah, that can be done. And so if you're dancing on the bones of your children, or you're dancing on the welfare of the future, then yeah, you can be called an asshole. Now, if you have collected, because of your hard industrious work, a bunch of free time, you know, that you have earned, and you want to waste it dancing or jerking off or eating potato chips, who the fuck cares? Whatever gets you off, buddy. But why does anybody need to hear any fucking goddamn music? Oh, that's right, they don't. I can hear my penis right now. I can hear, if I listen, I can hear him always saying, hey, can we fuck something? It doesn't really care about having a conversation or being intelligent. I can go ask my anus. I can listen to what music is my anus making? What does my anus want to do today? Would that be a way of actualizing my human potential? I have this big giant brain. I should ignore it and resort to, what does my body say? My body knows what's best. Yeah, fuck you. Stupid person.
Really clear as to whether or not he said it. I haven't done a great deal of research into it.
Well, then why'd you even say it then? Well, Nietzsche said, and well, no, he didn't really. It could have been Nucci. It could have been Bucci. It could have been Fucci. I was just name dropping anyway.
I don't really care whether or not he...
I really don't care. So you think you don't care? You don't even know what don't care is. Okay, you know how much I don't give a fuck who said this stupid cliche pile of shit that doesn't mean anything? Well, I really don't care. You want to see I don't care? I wish I could open my brain and show you I don't fucking goddamn care about no fucking dancing metaphor, you fucking cunt.
Said it. But, you know, it could have been said by Bart Simpson for all I can.
Yeah, well, there's another icon, so at least you're keeping the icons in the same category. Nietzsche, Bart Simpson, yeah, I think that's about right, dude. Cowabunga.
Here. If you actually think about that one, that's a very interesting point of view when you get
No.
into
There's nothing interesting at all. It's basically just a metaphor for saying, should we listen to our anuses and our nutsack, or should we use our big giant brain to analyze our existence and recognize that everything about it is just programmed bullshit, And that we should take some responsibility for the fact that we're not doing enough of that lovemaking thing, and we're doing way too much of that sword fighting thing, and there's a terrible inefficiency in this whole motherfucking game, and we're enslaving an entire biosphere to your gratification. There's animals tearing each other apart right this very fucking goddamn minute and having horrible, awful, terrible experiences, and you wish to take no accountability for a motherfucking thing that's happening on this motherfucking cunt goddamn life-affirming planet. You fucking cunt.
Life affirmation denial thing.
Yes, denial. So it's denial if I don't sit there and say I affirm it. So, right, so that's I have no alternative. I'm a denialist in some sense if I don't what? I don't validate your fucking religious theory that life has some eternal, accidentally perfect purpose, that it's goddamn fucking worth it because you fucking goddamn cunt say so. Shit. And you're the one listening to your anus. I'd rather listen to my brain than hear the Twitter of your fucking anus. Your anus says, well, fuck you and your anus. Fuck you in your anus. Yeah.
Can anyone explain, and does anyone ultimately have the tools to explain, why they're either an affirmer or a denier?
Well, whatever. Yeah, of course we have the tools. You can make logical explanations. You can say, I understand evolution. I understand they're little machines created to survive. Their survival necessitates disabling your competition and seizing your slaves and exploitatees that you're going to steal their energy from, so you can build up enough vitamins and minerals so you can fart out a new fucking robot to do the same fucking thing all over again. Yeah, I get that, shithead. I don't need a fucking giant brain to figure that one out, fuckface.
Can you actually do it?
Yes, I can actually do it, retard. I can actually analyze it in a fair, clinical way and say, shit, shit, this is what we're made for. We're not, there's not a single bit of good reason in any of this activity. It's all about just doing what stupid organs say, please satisfy my organ desire.
If you see a bunch of people dancing and you can't hear the music, what they're doing doesn't make sense. But if
yeah, again, so there's no standard for judging anything. Everything is just, what tune do you hear? Well, is the fart sounds playing Edelweiss, or are they playing rap music? And that's how we decide. So if your anus is farting Edelweiss, everything's fine, or vice versa. And it's all some subjective crap. No, there's an objective diagram of every psychological impulse you have, every bit of reasoning you do, every bit of self-serving rationalizations, every bit of this crap you call a psychology or an intellect is diagrammable and can be analyzed and compared, and it can be realized that it's all a pile of fucking goddamn motherfucking cunt shit. Your validation of this shit has nothing to do with reason.
you're actually sort of, as in a fundamental sense, deaf to the music that they're hearing.
Right, because I really don't pay attention to the sounds of the fart. Okay, I'm really not going to live for the fart. You're dancing to your own farts, retards. Nobody should be impressed by that. Nobody should be incapable of identifying people who are dancing to their own farts as fucking fart heads.
Neither of you can comment on the quality of the music or why they're...
Again, so says you. Nobody can do this. Nobody can figure out the difference between lovemaking and war-making. Nobody can tell the difference. Nobody can tell the difference between abusing a child and loving a child. Nobody can fucking figure out which one is which. Bullshit.
Jumping around on the dance floor, it doesn't make any sense at all. It doesn't mean that either one is wrong.
Yeah, it does when you're dancing on dead Jews or something. It matters. It matters if you're denying what the consequence of your fucking party is. If your party is at the expense of you going out and building a dike against the floodwaters, then you're quite obviously a motherfucking asshole.
it means that they live in more or less two separate universes, as it were. Two separate values.
Yeah, whatever. There's no different value anything. There's no relative value. There's a fucking goddamn quite easy to ascertain value. Anybody who's got anything called an IQ can figure out that sentient organisms have conscious experiences, and those conscious experiences have value. They create the goddamn thing. Alright, it wouldn't exist if they don't exist. There's no fucking value in the fucking goddamn universe if you don't have sentient things feeling sentient experiences. Then there is no value. Explain to me how the value could exist without there being organisms capable of feeling bad. Explain to me how value could exist, feel lesser. Have a lesser experience. Explain to me how you could possibly have value in the universe without that mechanism, jackass. Explain it. It's the only thing that has value, you stupid shit. Pumpkin pie doesn't mean anything without pumpkin pie eaters that are going to enjoy eating pumpkin fucking pie, jackass. There's not a motherfucking thing on this planet that can possibly, or in this universe, that can possibly have value until there's a sentient creature that has the actual value experience. This is not something you need a huge IQ to understand. Every conscious fucking entity who has a fucking sensation should be able to figure this fucking out. It's an absolute fucking truth of fucking existence, and you fucking cowards running from that fucking truth disgust me personally very, very much.
Universes. I've come at this from 2 points of view. One of the first...
Shit. Wow, what a surprise. What is... They're probably completely contrary again, right? Because it's not illogical to be contradictory. No, that's one of your fucking Indian principles. Stick your head up your ass. What the hell?
The first one is the bit about depression.
Oh, fuck, he's not on that again. We did that already, right? I don't know if it's going to be worth playing the rest of this video. I didn't know he's going to go there again. Amazing. Yeah. So instead of dealing with the subject of optimism bias, he's just going to, oh, it's a pessimism bias. Yeah, I got depressed all on my own for no good reason. There wasn't anything about life that could be at all depressing. Nothing about the entire scenario, the fact that my existence is paid by a bunch of organisms being squished and crushed and killed and destroyed. No, that shouldn't bother me.
Things about depression is not only do you lose your sort of savor of life, you lose your ability to enjoy anything. There's an antidote.
Be a silly jerk.
Only mixed in with a sort of positive darkness.
Oh yeah, positive dark. Yeah, I have that all the time when I'm depressed.
Or a gloominess that actually has something tangible. It's not just an absence, it's an actual presence of something negative.
Whatever.
Suffering, etc.
Suffering, etc. That's the funny. That's how glib. Again, this glib bullshit. Suffering, etc. Oh. Yeah, the most valuable thing in the universe. Suffering, etc.
And when you try to explain that, when you're in a state of dark depression, when you're trying to explain that to somebody who isn't, you're constantly struck by the sheer futility of trying to get this point across to people. Now this...
yeah, again, just this huge perversion, change of the subject, distortion of it, and everything else, as if the depressed person is attempting to convey understanding and all this other shit. That's not what has them depressed, frankly. And whoever they're explaining it to probably isn't going to fix it anyway.
This is what I'm not bringing up depression, i.e., if you subscribe to the Benatarian asymmetry, you're automatically depressed. But what I'm saying is, if you look at that, if you look at the idea of fundamental anhedonia and fundamental feeling that the universe and life and everything is malignant, Even before you start to think, even before...
Yeah, again, before you start to think, all this bullshit that you throw into this equation, as if we all were born prejudiced against life somehow. And no, life earned this judgment. And we clearly know that this judgment is not something one, as if there's any propaganda in favor of this message. So again, that's all the bullshit. The propaganda is clearly in the other direction. The don't pay any attention. Red's a great color. Yeah. There's always a silver lining. Even doubled brain tumors have silver linings.
Before you start to examine anything, and you look at that from the point of view of someone who actually is in that position, and I've been there before, you sort of see just how hard...
Liar, liar, liar. Again, I've asked before. I mean, not that you're paying any attention, but I mean, I've requested an explanation of what had him depressed. And I don't think it had anything to do with anything but some selfish bullshit like I'm fat or something.
It is to communicate with people who are not in that state of deep depression, at least in terms of how you actually experience life. They do not get it.
And who cares? It really has nothing to do with the subject. The subject is what drives human beings, and it's really just a bunch of addictions. And if your addictions are strong and active, depression's harder to have because you're too caught up in the chase. So you don't pay any attention to things. Because you don't want to have to, you can't take it on because you're just too busy chasing.
In fact, you have to, in some way, you have to forgive them because they can't get it. You're trying, especially if it's somebody close to you, you're trying to explain how you feel, but it...
Well, whatever, how you feel, again, like it's like they somehow, this isn't a conversation about how you think and how you understand and what you understand. No, that's not what it's about. Again, I want to know what your depression was, because it clearly couldn't have been anything close to a philosophical depression. Clearly. It had to be some sort of personal, emotional, whiny bitch kind of depression. I'm not getting enough. Something like that, right? All the hot chicks don't like me.
It's useless. You get this constant feeling that there's just no way they will ever get it. And not only that, you kind of don't want to get it either. And again, who can blame them?
Anybody with a rational brain can blame them. Again, this is not that hard to figure out, okay? The fact that this is a rough sea, the fact that life is dangerous as fuck, that there's places to go here, there's trapdoors you can fall into that are as gnarly and as badass and as motherfucker as that can possibly get. And that those scenarios are not something that deserve will protect you from. And that this is a serious jeopardy, not some kind of casual jeopardy. This is real shit. This is leaving your baby in the burning goddamn building. The smoldering, putting it next to the smoldering campfire. This is a kind of disgusting, grotesque recklessness with other things' welfare that everybody should want to vomit on if they had any logic or reason that motivated them. If they were at all rational people, they should be able to see the grotesque jeopardy and say, that's basically child abuse, fucker. You don't tie your kid to cannonballs, you idiot. Okay, maybe no one's shooting cannons today, but it seems to me hugely inappropriate.
Because what happens is when you get out of depression, I had to claw my way out of it the hard way. It took me about 10 years, but...
Yeah. Again, all this talk about... Let me hear you. Look, you're willing to tell me all other the kind of stories, you know, about all the dogs you fucked and, you know, all the military buddies you gave blowjobs to. So what's the big deal? Why can't you just tell me the truth about what your depression was about? What was on your mind when you were sitting in your depression?
If once you do get out of it, though, you forget what you felt like afterwards, in some sense.
Again, the feelings. It's all about the feelings. It's never about a goddamn resolution in your brain, some kind of vision you saw. You saw yourself stomping on the welfare of others to get what you wanted. You saw yourself being just a petty asshole because, you know, that guy's got a 10-inch dick, damn it. You saw yourself being unfair and indecent because of your own fucking ego.
Because you don't see any value in it. You've just spent all this time working your way out of something. Why the hell would I want to even get a whiff of what it's like back there?
Well, again, that's not the question. The question isn't what's in your interest, what's in it for me. The question is, what's the fucking truth? Could you try that one? Oh, that's right, you can't do that one, but you don't think there is a fucking truth. So there's really no way to have a rational conversation. You're just going to keep saying Bugs Bunny is real. And I'm going to, every time you need something, catch-22. You're just going to keep catch-22 reality. Whenever reality gets too dirty, you're just going to say, you can't hear the music, fucker. That's the only problem. You're not hearing the farty song, man. It's a great fart song. So yeah, it's always just going to be some catch-22. I'm going to inject nonsense into the reality to make it all okay. And rationalize any motherfucking selfish cunt, bastard, stupid, emotional bullshit thing I'm iconizing and revising. You know, you're sitting there rubbing up against this totem pole of emotional bullshit and saying it's all okay. That's called logic. Bullshit. That's called self-indulgence.
That's a nasty temptation, I think, that a lot of recovered depressives fall into. I kind of try to, in as much as it's possible, remind myself of what it was like to be happy.
I don't think that there's recovered depressives. It just requires that your depression was superficial and silly. You were depressed because you had acne, or you were depressed because you have a small penis or some other thing. And so then you found some way to get over it, and you said, oh, I have very shiny nipples, so maybe that'll make up for it. So you found some rationalization to escape your depression, but it really didn't mean anything because it was a superficial depression anyway. It was just about your hurt ego. It wasn't about you being hurt by a fact that really is inescapable and terminal. You're never going to, it's a malignant fact. You can only get it free of it by extracting it. It's a fact tumor.
In that pit of depression. What it was like when you couldn't hear the music. Now, both sides of that aphorism, those who were seen dancing were thought insane by those who couldn't hear the music, are interesting because looked at from the point of view of the people who were deaf.
Well, so again, just recognize that this is a premise for the conversation, as if this is all just some sort of subjective conversation and has nothing to do with any real or actual legitimate position. That any truth is the truth based on the subjective individual. So if they're dancing to the tune of Jesus, or dancing to the tune of Mohammed, or dancing to the tune of Bugs Bunny, it's all validated because I'm not allowed to say that music is shit. That's what he's saying, clearly.
For the people who were just blocked from listening to the music, there's really nothing. It's not that what the people on the dance floor are doing is wrong or stupid or doesn't make any sense or anything. It's just...
Yeah, see, exactly. But yeah, it is true, okay? The Catholics dancing to the babblings of the Pope are stupid. It's a fact.
Based on the information at the disposal of those who cannot hear the music, what the people on the dance floor are doing doesn't make sense.
It's worse than doesn't make sense. It's recognizable as waste and harmful. It's malicious dancing. Again, this dancing isn't for free. You're doing it on top of something. And there's squish noises and yells and screams. There's pain and suffering. Fucker.
Same token, the people who are dancing, who are feeling pretty good about things, don't understand why there are people sitting there looking at them with a glum or blank look on their faces.
Well, again, I don't know how somebody could miss. You know, I mean, I'm not just making a face. I'm explaining why you're an asshole. A fucking disgusting, scary, dangerous asshole.
They go, why on earth would these people not join in here? Oh well, not my problem. And, you know, they would, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. So, exactly, we're all back to this. It's all subjective. There's no real thing to be ever in jeopardy. Why are all these people worried about child abuse or spousal or any kind of abuse? It's okay. Everything's here to just be consumed by something. Everything's here to have its flesh ripped off. So why are you having imposing expectations of performance? There's no such thing as performance. You know, fuck you. And any babble is a fair tune to dance to. So just make up any kind of crap. Aliens love me and they're coming to rescue me. Whatever, just make up some kind of shit and say it's all alright. Because the aliens say so. My dog told me. I'll listen to my dog yowling and call that my tune to dance to. Yeah, we know where that gets people. But, no. Internal joke. Sorry, yeah. I tell some pretty funny ones inside my head.
Stop thinking in the same way as the people who were unable to hear the music would stop thinking.
Right, so none of that's taking place. That's no context to this conversation. So again, people are articulating their disapproval of the dancing that's going on planet Earth. We're all capable of pointing to Muslims and saying something about, man, you're dancing shitty, fucker. That's one fucking shitty dance you're dancing, motherfucker.
You're looking at two fundamentally different universes staring at each other and not having any means of bridging the gap.
Yeah, right. There's no means because people who have some intelligence, right? I mean, you probably perform adequately on an IQ test, but you're just denying the fact that there's about 9,778,648 perfectly good facts that have been gleaned over the last 10,000 years of civilization. And they're now facts. You can't dance to Flat Earth Party anymore. You can't dance to these idiotic notions anymore. Women is dumb and stupid and for fucking and having babies. Yeah, you can't dance to those kind of idiotic, moronic tunes anymore. And your inability to recognize that's now a fact is really, 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 really pitiful.
At least at present. The people who are dancing are convinced that everything is great. The people
Right, they're not. They know they're idiots, and they just need the intelligent people just to validate what they already know. You're a stupid motherfucker that should be in a goddamn cage. And frankly, the stupid people already know that. They know how out of control they are. I mean, the fucking heroin addict popping out babies and shit. You know, they have no reason to think they're at all in control. And they're frankly probably just waiting for you to put them in a cage.
who are not dancing are convinced that anyone who thinks that things are great are insane. Never the twain shall meet? I'm not so sure about that, but what...
Yeah, I'm not too sure either. I'm saying that sooner or later, smart people are going to realize they're going to be born slaves, okay? They're going to be enslaved to these stupid motherfuckers, and perhaps for centuries, where their intelligence won't be realized. Humans will be born into the human community as dopey, stupid, moronic retards, and they're not going to be provided with any kind of escape, any kind of internet, any kind of stimulation besides the droning of the idiots And that's the only song that's ever going to be played, is the droning of the moron. Dance with me, dance with me, dance with me. I want to play with your willy. Dance with me. That's all they're going to hear over and over and over for centuries, because of what these assholes are heading us for. Because intellectuals won't be fair to the argument and point out quite distinctly, yes, I'm an addicted motherfucking asshole. I acknowledge that. I don't validate my penis, or my anus, or my stomach, or my liver, as being more competent to understand what means something than my fucking goddamn brain that's capable of doing all this fucking logical shit. Yes, so we should listen to our logic, not our anuses. Yes, I agree. Let's write that in the Constitution. Human beings should listen to their motherfucking brains, not their anuses.
I would say is the chasm between the two is a lot greater than one might think, and the chasm may be
whatever. No, it really isn't. The chasm is a little tiny bit of delusional ignorance that people keep placating. The chasm is raising kids on Santa Claus and Easter rabbits and silly singularities and all this other fucking goddamn purple unicorn sprinkly bullshit. And as soon as you take away that bullshit and you point out to a child that you've basically been subjected to a silly drawing straw idiotic moronic game where no matter what you do, you're not going to win, okay? And what you're going to do, if you draw the I don't get tortured straw, that's the best you can do. I don't get tortured. But you're still not going to win, because whatever you get, you're going to have taken away from you in the end anyway. If you love something, you're going to have to watch it destroyed, or it is going to have to watch you get destroyed. Oh, some victory there.
Pre-existing chasm. I'm not implying that anyone who agrees with Benatar is depressed.
No, you're just implying it and just basically keep smearing it all over the picture of Benatar. I mean, you're just basically crayoning in the Hitler mustache. I mean, this is just such bullshit.
Am I implying that anyone who can hear the music, or who is more or less in a state of affirmation, if you want to call it that way, is somehow right either? It's not a question.
Yes, it's exactly what you're implying. You're implying that there's no way to rationally, logically evaluate this circumstance and identify the difference between the people making love and the people sticking swords in each other's fucking goddamn livers.
It's not wrong or right. It's a question of two fundamentally different preconceptions.
Well, again, this idea of preconception doesn't enter into, is evolution a fact? Did God create human beings, or did the process of evolution create human beings? There's no preconceptions that go into that. There's a right answer and a wrong answer, and the right answer is evolution, motherfucker. The people dancing to Jehovah are fucking idiots. Dancing to a non-existent tune that has, even if it did exist, it would be fucking goddamn the same as eating your own shit.
Before you even start to look into the entire matter, you're coming at it from a perspective without realizing it. And there's...
Yeah, says you. Yeah, fuck you. I mean, it's just such bullshit. Oh yeah, I landed on Earth with a preconceived note. No, I didn't do any of that fucking shit. And again, the joke of this is that we know which way the bias goes. Again, it's quite obviously that we are extensively, that there's an effort to program us to play the fucking game. Shit.
Not many people out there that I have met, at least, that have seen it from both sides of the microscope, I guess you'd call it, and who sort of try and maintain a view of both sides, who try to, like, sort of cured or recovering depressives who sort of...
So again, you just keep saying it, recovered depressives, as if this philosophy has nothing to do with something real. It just has to do with some sort of thing you can only see when you're depressed. No, it makes you depressed. You don't come to it because I got depressed and then I realized the world sucks. No, you realize the game sucks and that makes you depressed. So you're not... This isn't a rational diagnosis. You're a shitty doctor.
Still want to remind themselves of what it was like and still want to, in some sense, benefit. Sounds insane, but in my case, I believe it's true. Benefit from the fact that they've actually had this depression.
Oh, whatever. So, I don't even know what that means. I really don't. I really don't understand the usefulness of this. And again, it's just such a slight. And again, just saying, oh, the depression was wrong, and now we just have to find the silver lining. No, the depression is the right frame of mind. If you're not depressed by grotesque circumstances, if, you know, again, I can make the analogy. The real world is fairly ugly. This real capitalism, all of this shit is really ugly. And if I metaphor it to something like the law protecting somebody like Adolf Hitler could live next door to you, and it would be he would have a legal permit to throw Jews and gays and all that kind of shit into a pit in his backyard, a little fire pit, and you had to listen to it, you heard it, and you could smell it. And all you're saying is, I should dance to the stink, I should dance to the screams. And I shouldn't in any way be affected that this reality is not good enough. And that I should go about my fucking goddamn business and have my little competing barbecue where I, you know, put the pig on the skillet. And I should just join in this fucking pig trough fest of eating your slop and then farting it and be pleased with myself. And I shouldn't, as a rational thinking machine who possesses sentience, find the whole thing hardly frightening, disgusting, and plainly unacceptable. Acceptance would be the rational thing to do because it's in your own interest. And you're just here for your own interest. And that's all this fucking glib, selfish cunt is preaching. He's just preaching, find your own interest and fuck anything that gets in your way.
You have to sort of maintain a capacity to see both. And if you're able to do that, and this isn't something that I think you can really talk about on YouTube in a video.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, this is, you have to, there's no way you can do that. So again, that whole premise is idiotic. There's no way, as a rational being who understands pain and suffering, who has experienced it, wants to sit there and watch constantly something being tortured and tormented and suffering and blood and guts and all that shit. It's just not nothing wants to love something every day and watch it die by the end of the day. Nobody would do that.
I think it's an experiential thing. I think it's right down at the basic level of perception and...
I mean, right, you know, perfect moment. Perfect timing in the sense of cat out there. I don't know if you can see orange cat. But, yeah, he's sitting right in the fucking goddamn driveway. Like, having a nice little lie down in the middle of the driveway. I mean, this is what I had, you know. Oh, now he's having a roll. Oh, he's very cute, though. Yeah, I don't know if you can see him. He's rolling about. Yeah. Fuck.
Bias and fundamental value bias that you can...
Right, fundamental biases and all this crap. Again, but none of this articulated as a bias, as any real example of how I've just niggered life, you know, in something, some kind of cheap Hitlerish propaganda. Oh, the Jews have horns. You know, I'm painting horns on nature and, you know, Hitler mustache. You're making nature into a bully. And I'm doing it through some bias. Not rational arguments. I'm not explaining how the Mexican menace is real. You know, no, it's all just a lie. I'm just propagandizing against them because I'm just a bigot. Bullshit.
Is the only way you can really approach this, and I don't really see how you can argue it as a logical formula the way Benatar has.
Well, whatever. See, you don't see how that can happen because you don't concede the premises of his arguments, which are we're biological organisms, we function based on a silly psychology that projects value, and it can often, and most often, projects value in silly ways. It loves the shiny rocks or pretty glitter or some other kind of bullshit. And what basically Benatar is saying is there's real shit in the world. There's good and there's bad. And there's real consequence in the sense that most of the good is just a relief from a bad. Most of the good is fixing the pustule or fixing the tumor or fixing the obnoxious thing that's in the way of your comfort. And that's the game we're playing, which is basically avoid the bad.
Cheapens the whole thing. We're not just a pile of logical formulae, Mr. Benatar.
Well, again, that's the joke. Mr. Benatar is saying quite explicitly, quite obviously we're not. Most of everything we do is based on bullshit. But we do have the capacity to be rational and logical. That's what our brain can do. It functions that way. That's what makes it capable for us to run in straight lines and, you know, not drowned in the waters, because we can tell the difference between shallow water and deep water, because we have a logical brain that can acquire knowledge and then put facts together. It can add 2 plus 2 and come up with goddamn 4. And you just keep pretending because you have a fucking horny, big, hard, little skanky dick for the number 3, you're just going to keep making 2 plus 2 equal your fucking cunt 3.
We're human beings, and human beings are a gazillion other things.
Ah, bullshit. Human beings are lying pieces of shit, generally speaking. Okay, their shit stinks, their farts stink, and their fucking goddamn silly dances stink. You fucking suck. It's a fact. You stupid motherfucking glib cunt.
If you look at people who are sort of ridiculously over-the-top affirmers, I always like to use the...
Yeah, well, you're pretty ridiculous, right? Yeah, there's nothing unridiculous about your life affirmation bullshit, your fucking masochistic, sadistic love affair with, nah, don't pay attention to the pain, I'm above it, I'm a fighting man. Yeah, I got kicked to pieces by some men in skirts, but yeah, I took it like a man. Then they threw me in prison for it somehow. Yeah, whatever, sure. It all makes sense. And you were fighting for right. Those men in skirts were wrong.
Case of Ned Flanders. There's something, I don't know, incomplete about his character. There's something wrong with the way he is. You don't know why, but you agree with Homer Simpson that he's a jerk.
And you are Ned Flanders just taking fucking, you know, sticking the steroid needle in your dick.
It's because he's refusing to see reality for what reality is. Warts and all.
Yeah, whatever, warts and all. So again, that's the statement people use when they're going to rationalize something. When they're going to say, gee, the warts don't really matter because we have the counter wart, which is, I got laid. You know, I enjoyed some English cheese squeezed out of the suffering of cows. Yeah, it was all worth it. I didn't feel anything. Yeah, certainly nothing bad. I wasn't tortured, so who cares? Glib, fucking selfish cunt.
But by the same token, if you get some people who will make a case for sort of life denial, you see somebody who is frustrated, who is angry about the fact that they're constantly having to put up with all this crap by the Ned Flanderses of the world.
Yeah, well, that's really not the goddamn point. But yeah, it's the Nietzsche eternal recurrence argument. To me, it's the one that has the most power for me personally. It's just the very vision that, yeah, the eggs are going to keep hatching. And there's going to be little Gary chicks. And they're going to have to do this all over again. Because some fucking master of their fart dance is going to tell me I have to smell their stinking farts and hear the music of their farts and dance to their fucking shit. And it's not what I want to do.
And if you ask me, they may simply be looking into a distorted mirror.
Well, if you ask me, you are a perverse, crooked, twisted pile of illogical, denying, truth-denying, fact-denying, crapooter. Yeah, you're a crapooter.
They may be actually looking at a positive-negative image of each other. I don't really see how they're fundamentally that different. Each one is looking at the other and simply doesn't understand what it sees from the very beginning.
Oh yeah, whatever, fuckhead. Yeah, and you're just sitting in the middle as a spectator, or something. I don't know what your fucking glib victory is mine, saith the Anekantavad. Jeppapoo. Yeah, they have a name for that, whatever that is, that candy Japanesey thing. Anyway, they really are like little pieces of candy. I just hate the internet. Anyway, these are the silliest fucking related videos. Oh, he has the word love. No wonder why the links are silly. Oh, big surprise there. Fuck. Alright, I've done my job here. I don't know if I'm going to bother with the logic rolls the dice video because he doesn't say anything. It's so mishy-mushy. He'll change his mind 3 weeks from now. But whatever. Till next time. Quinta. It's just such a great guy to have commenting on your videos. Fed A. He probably didn't say anything here. Refuted, quotes, doesn't equal debunked. Oh, amazing. Refuted doesn't mean debunked. Okay, well, I just can't really see how they're not synonyms, but whatever. There's a clear asymmetry in the needs of the existent and the non-existent. I don't even know if it's this whole comparing non-existent to existent, I think loses the point. The point is that there's a difference between not bad, okay, and not good. There's a difference between bad and, well, whatever. Yeah, it's the good and bad thing. That's the concept. Not the non-existent versus existent thing. But I mean, quite obviously, you can't lose by having not good. Not good isn't bad. Right? Not bad is good. Not good isn't bad. That's the asymmetry. Existence is just a minor part of that explanation. I mean, it's obviously it works for existence. But it works in just life itself. Having a not bad experience is pretty fucking good. Anyway. No needs on the latter, therefore no suffering or nor deprivation. Yes, of course. There's no bad in not being. And not bad is always a good place. If there's a square and it's labeled not bad, there can't be a safer, better place to jump to, because everything else is dangerous. Not bad can't be losing. I mean, not losing. If you're going to a game and you have a choice, winning or not losing. Yes, not losing is winning. Fuck. Anyway. Till next time. It's the safe alternative. Anyway. Just as satisfying, realistically. Satisfy my addictions, or don't have addictions. Pretty obvious, yeah. Yes. Don't make me a heroin addict who's satisfied and has heroin. No, make me a non-addict, please. Much safer. How many times does heroin addiction go wrong compared to how many times it goes right? Where not bad is not bad. It's always not bad. There's no way to fail at not badding. No risk. It's really good. Anyway, again, till next time.